Hey everybody, if you're a restaurant or hotel business, you know how crucial it is to manage costs without sacrificing quality. That's where FoodBuy, the largest GPO in the industry, comes in. With FoodBuy, you gain access to exclusive pricing, unmatched buying power, and a vast network of trusted suppliers, all designed to help you save time and money. Whether you're running a high-end hotel or a bustling restaurant, FoodBuy is your one-stop partner to streamline purchasing and get the best deals. Want to see how they're changing the game? Visit foodbuy.com today and take your supply chain to the next level. That's foodbuy.com, making smarter purchasing easier than ever. Welcome to the Hospitality Hangout Rewind Summer Series, where we're featuring some of the greatest podcasts of the Hospitality Hangout. Stay tuned and listen in.
Live from the Kings County Distillery Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout Podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy. We've got our whiskey on the rocks ready. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and encourage all you to share a pour at home, because we got our Kings County right here, and I like to mix it. Jimmy, I like to mix mine with a little Pepsi.
I think it's a little early for the day for me personally.
No, but that's why we said 5 o'clock somewhere.
5 o'clock, but it's definitely not 5 o'clock here. But it is 5 o'clock somewhere.
5 o'clock somewhere. Well, let's kick it off, Jimmy. We got a great show.
All right, but a shout out to Kings County, and with Pepsi, king me. That's the idea. Pepsi, Kings County, king me. All right, listen.
And so I've got an issue right away, guys.
Send you a bottle.
But yeah, I've got nothing here.
It's in FedEx. It should be arriving any moment.
Yeah, that's definitely that's a COVID related issue.
Yeah, it's
probably,
COVID related.
There's also a whole Ukraine supply chain issue. A lot of things going on.
Really
I'm shocked that you didn't get that yet.
All right, listen. Let me officially welcome everybody, including our guests, who we're going to jump in within a few moments, formally to the Hospitality Hangout. As our long-term listeners know, this is a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders of branded hospitality ventures share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the finance guy. I'd like to introduce my partner. You already kind of introduced yourself, but Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the restaurant.
You never have enough introductions.
Never.
And thank you, Jimmy, for that kind introduction. And for all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. Together, we're the personalities behind branded strategic hospitality. We work at the intersection of hospitality, technology, innovation, capital, and of course, burgers. We love burgers, Jimmy.
Love burgers.
And we got a great show for you, Jimmy. But before I start, there's one thing that's been on my mind, Jimmy. As an operator, labor seems to continually to be an issue in the restaurant space.
Number 1 or 2 on the Family Feud board of pain points.
Yeah, and you know what? As an operator in this market, you have to look at every edge, any edge you can get. What if there was a report that showed what other restaurants were paying for labor?
Can't exist. Who has that?
No, there is. Jimmy. Our work has a report. It's called QSR Wage Report. It's free. It features data. Jimmy, data or data?
You're from Jersey. You're a data guy. I'm a data guy.
Yeah, Jersey, it's data.
I'm data. New York City, data. 100,000
quick service jobs in over 900 zip codes. Jimmy, it's a lot of zip codes. Do you know the Empire State Building has its own zip code?
I did not know.
I just know that. I knew that yesterday. I found that out. So Our Work's easy-to-use software can double applicant flow and increase retention by 30%.
Big number.
That's a big number.
In an industry that's challenged by labor and challenged by retention, that's a big number.
Our Work serves nearly 8,000 restaurants across brands like Jimmy. McDonald's uses Our Work. Domino's Pizza
I've
uses.
heard of those guys.
MOOYAH Burger is going to be using them.
That's a great burger.
Once they're done listening to this incredible spot. So listen, get your report. Jimmy, here's what you do. You go to QSRwages.com, okay? With the code podcast. Use the code podcast.
QSRwages.com.
Use the code podcast to get your free gift. QSRwages.com, and this is all brought to you by Our Work. I mean, they're doing good things.
Legit.
They're doing good things. All right, listen, Jimmy, that is my my shameless spot for this episode.
Not shameless. I have to tell you, you're giving a gift to the industry, Shatsy. Giving a gift. You're a giver, Shatsy.
Always been a giver.
You're a giver. All right. Thank you very much, and thanks to Our Works. All right, let's get into it. We are very excited for today's episode. Joining us is our friend Doug Willmarth, president of MOOYAH Burgers, Fries, and Shakes. This is going to be a good one. All right. But before we jump into Doug, and he's kind of like, when do I get to participate in this podcast? But before we bring Doug in, you know our podcasts are released on Tuesdays. We do this week, it's Trivia Tuesday, not to be confused ever with Taco Tuesdays. But we're going to play our game, 2 truths and a lie. We're going to tell you 3 facts about our friend Doug. 2 are true. One's fake. I don't want to lie, but one's not true. Okay? And the game is, you got to listen to the episode to find out which are the 2 truths and a lie. All right, 3 facts coming. Fact 1. Doug once sang the national anthem at a Monday Night Football game. By the way,
I can believe that.
It's on my bucket list.
Jimmy, I got to tell you, that would be definitely a Monday night game I'd like to miss.
Fact 2, Doug was a contestant on the reality show, The Amazing Race. And Chess, I got to tell you, you and your wife, Jillian, I think are the biggest fans of all reality shows. I like that one.
Amazing Race is a good one, and I could tell you I could never do that. So I question that Doug could do it.
Fact 3, Doug is globally ranked Ironman all-world athlete in his age group. Okay, so again, in recap, fact 1, national anthem, Monday Night Football. Fact 2, contestant, Amazing Race. Fact 3, global.
All right, I already know. I already know.
Yeah, Shots, I have to tell you, you actually are very good at this game.
Because I see Doug, and I can tell, I can just look and see. I know what he did and didn't do. I know. Yeah.
All right, so people stick around to the end of the episode, and we'll let you guess, and we'll have Doug tell us the truth and which one's the lie. All right, stick around. All right, here we go. Doug, you've been patient with us. You let us do our banter. We now want to bring you into the podcast. We'll let you take the lead. Please give an introduction on yourself and, of course, your amazing, amazing restaurant company, MOOYAH Burger.
Yeah, hey, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me here. I appreciate that. So I am the president of MOOYAH. I've been here just over a year and a half, and I love working for MOOYAH. I got to tell you guys, I've been in the restaurant business a long time. And,
I just like saying MOOYAH.
MOOYAH, right? And I think that's really how we got our name. But really what MOOYAH is about is just having great tasting cheeseburgers. And we like to say it's the best tasting cheeseburger you ever put in your mouth. And you know, there's really a couple reasons why that's the case, guys. But one is, it's just, this from being in the restaurant industry, you start with great ingredients, you're going to get a great product. But we still do things, the hard way. We handcraft, we hand smash. Our fry program takes 24 hours. We cut from hand, we double fry, and then we make all our shakes are made from scratch. And so when you make things kind of the old handcrafted way, they tend to taste better. And really the big secret sauce for us is customization. So we've got a ton of different protein options, toppings. We make our toppings from scratch, lots of different sauces, cheese choices, and we let you pick. Right. And so, you can create your own burger, whatever way you want. You want 3 patties, go for it. You want an ice burger because, you're eating keto. We can do that. We just have like an amazing set of options. So we think if you use the best ingredients.
Can I do a MOOYAH in just lettuce with no bun? I hear that's very popular.
You can. We call that a salad, but you could do that.
I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah, actually. Lettuce burgers are actually really, really popular, especially with people that are trying to go.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anyway, listen, Doug, thanks so much. Because we're going to take a deeper dive into all things MOOYAH. But before we do it, I like to really try and get to know who is Doug Willmarth. What makes Doug tick? I mean, you spent 9 years as a Navy pilot. Probably F-16s, F-18 Hornets, or something crazy, maybe Tomcats. I don't know. You're doing something crazy.
He's just exhausted. He's like watching Top Gun.
That's it. That was Top Gun right there.
Maverick. He just watched it like 6 times in a row.
Okay, I know planes. You were probably in like something crazy like that. Yeah. You got your MBA in finance, much like, hey, Jimmy was Mr. Finance. He got his MBA over Columbia in finance. And you hung up your finance hat for hospitality, which is, again, very much like Jimbo. You and Jimmy have a lot in common.
And that Navy stuff.
No, not the Navy stuff. Yeah, Jimmy, he watched Maverick and he loved it. He loved Maverick, the movie. And you also worked at incredible brands. I mean, Frito-Lay, Chili's, Pizza Hut, before joining MOOYAH. So you've got a lot to share with us about how you ended up here. Give me 1974, 75. Let's start there. Talk to me.
Wow. It started off with I had kind of two things that I loved in life, right? One was I wanted to be a leader, and the second thing is I loved airplanes. I wanted to fly. And so, that's how you end up in the Navy. And that was a great first job. I enjoyed serving our country. But at the end of the day, I started, being a dad and wanted to transition into, more business leadership. And so that's what led me to get an MBA. And on the way out, I just kind of fell in love with the marketing discipline and ended up in brand with Kraft Foods and spent, about 10 years in packaged goods, running small businesses for packaged goods companies, Oscar Mayer, Bologna, Claussen Pickles, worked over on the Frito-Lay innovation side. And then I found restaurants and I just fell in love. I love the restaurant business. It's an unbelievable space to be in a place where you get to help people, connect and gather over food. And this has been happening for thousands of years. And what's great about being in a franchise business is that, we're helping people become entrepreneurs. And that's really what America's all about. So, this is really core about who we are as a nation. And I just love being part of it. So, I ended up kind of coming to the president's job through marketing.
The Star Spangled Banner right now?
I think you blew me.
I don't even have that queued up. I didn't know Doug was going to go with that.
That was gold.
That was gold. I mean, are you kidding me?
Gold.
I'm proud to be an American.
Oh my good God! I want to get him to salute the flag right now.
Sound like I'm joking around, but I'm totally serious. That was awesome. Doug, to your point, we as an industry are the second largest employer in the country, and you're right. We are as diverse an industry in terms of the people that comprise of it, and giving everyone, their first job, my first job, I babysitting when I was in my building, but my first job was as a freaking busboy. I walked in off the street. I was underage. I said, "Can I work for you?" They're like, "How old are you?" I'm like this. Like, "I can bust tables." I'm like, "All right, I'll bust tables." That's
how many of us, Jimmy? How many of us started? Our first job was in the restaurant business.
It's such a great, it is such great training.
Making bagels, cleaning the kitchen where they made bagels.
I actually, again, and you serve the country and obviously and had a passion for it, and thank you for it. I know we're a country that obviously doesn't have a draft, and I feel to a certain extent, and I'm not, these are not equivalent. I actually think everybody should cut their teeth and work in the hospitality industry, because I think it's something that if everyone worked a little bit in it, I think it would all be a better experience. I think the guests would have a far better. I don't say you have to stick with it. I'm not saying you have to make a career out of it, but I'm very passionate that if more people actually experience what you did, Doug, and what Chats and I did, I actually think the industry and the world would be a better place. How about that?
It would.
Not as good as Doug's comments.
But Doug chucks a couple boxes. Jim, you always say people military. Hospitality,
sports,
team sports. And there was one other thing.
Oh, I love first generation college.
Those are
my four little checkpoints. If I see those, or at least one or more than one, it doesn't guarantee success. But when I see somebody that checks those boxes, I definitely lean into them. Doug, listen, I want to jump in. I appreciate what you're sharing. I usually don't get the breaking news section because Shatsy loves it, and our producers worked with Shatsy for like a dozen years, so I respect that he usually gets the
Julie favors me?
Well, I mean, you said it, I didn't. I just agree with it. But anyway, that's okay. But I now get to do some breaking news, and I actually love this breaking news. MOOYAH just announced a new franchise owner incentive program to help drive growth of MOOYAH, where franchise owners who sign an agreement and lease in 2023 will receive 3 years of royalty relief and additional corporate support for a strong launch. First of all, I love that. I love it for so many reasons, but since I've got you here and you're the president, I'm gonna let you talk about it. Can you share about the who, what, where, why behind really what I think is a special program?
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. We were just talking about this, right? How the service industry, really, if you think about, where I was serving in the military, I think everybody should start serving somebody, right? And we'd be a better country for that. And when we really believe strongly that, not only is this the industry where you get your first job, but where else can you start as a dishwasher and grow up to be the owner or the president of the company, right? My first job, I was a busboy, right? And so if you think about this, that's what this is really all about, especially if you think about franchise ownership. So many of our franchisees are stepping into ownership for the first time. They're looking to transform their family tree. They're really, looking to live the American dream. And so part of what we're doing, this franchise incentive, is enabling people to do that, right? So we're partnering with them to make sure they get a successful start, especially a successful start in MOOYAH. So, one of the big barriers is, hey, the first couple of years, you got to build your business. You've got to get out there, and it doesn't always start strong. So we're stepping in with people and say, hey, we're going to put some skin in the game. And we're going to work with you over a 3-year period to make sure you start profitably, that you're able to make this transition. And the part of the program I love the best is we're going to come in and match your marketing investment, because we think it's really important to start strong and start with a great customer base. So, that's really our attempt to really help, get people into this business that we all love.
I love it.
I apologize.
You don't have to apologize,
I'm
Jimmy.
clearly too caffeinated, or maybe I enjoyed a little King Me earlier that I said I really didn't. But I just want to comment, because, again, I really did love this program you're doing. When the pandemic came crashing down on our shores, I mean, it crippled so many industries, and certainly hit ours very hard.
Yeah,
I think one of the things I got, particularly, let's say, emotional or sensitive about, is I thought about all the first-time franchisees. I thought about all the first-timers who were really taking a leap and trying to have that critical change point for their lives, for their families, and for those caught on the wrong side of that issue, and they got crushed. I mean, they just cratered. And I really and as nasty as that was, and it's so hard to recover from it, what struck me about the program you guys have launched is that it seems to be the polar opposite. And by that, I mean, is now inviting people to take this chance. And that, again, I'm harping on it. I'm highlighting it because, again, I said at the top of the show, I thought it was I think we have a great.
I feel very sentimental today. I love it.
I got to tell you, this was my favorite part when I read what MOOYAH's doing.
You guys can't see it, but there's a little tear coming down Jimbo's eye right now.
I cry at Hallmark commercials.
Yeah, no, by the way, he's got tickets for Barry Manilow's coming to the city like in a couple weeks.
You say that like it's my first time I'm going.
I thought it was.
I'm a fan of Low.
Okay. Well, listen, I got to tell you, Jimmy, we gave you breaking news, but yes, Julie does favor me, because guess who's got more breaking news? More breaking news coming right here live from the Hospitality Hangout. Justin, MOOYAH relaunched its rewards app. It's rolling out a full new loyalty framework with improved ordering experience. Boom. Boom is correct. And let me tell you, Doug, can you give us a little bit about this? I don't have the press release here. I figured I would have you be the press release.
You got the source.
Tell us about this new loyalty. Exactly. Tell us about this.
You guys, though, the way technology goes is you have to continue to invest. And, we're probably on generation 4 or 5 of online ordering technology. So, in the fall of last year, we updated kind of the mobile and desktop experience. We're following up with updating our native app, and that is really about how do we make the experience easier and faster for people. We have a somewhat complicated ordering mechanism if you go into the create your own, and so we want to make that very visual, very intuitive, and have it just work faster. And so that's partly, the point behind the app. And of course, is we're doing the loyalty program. We're making a shift from more of a dollars-based program to a food-based program, because one of the things I think that we found is people love getting free food. That's what they love about us. And so that's, where we can lean in and give them more options. So free food, better ordering, what's not to love?
I love it. And so in your new system, you can create your own burger.
Yeah, no, you've always been able to, but, in fact.
Right, I know, but but now.
You paid attention.
Yeah, but that was in store. But that could be very complicated on an app to create your own, because the modifiers could be like unbelievably complex. You've seen the stuff on TikTok over at Starbucks that people are doing. The dupe is like this long, and it throws everything off kilter.
By the way, all our non-operator listeners are like, you did modifiers, you did dupes. You're like confusing everybody now.
Well, you know what I'm talking, right? I mean, they get it's like this long.
You know.
That's what I was saying. Like, it can get very complex.
My brother just hung up. He's out. He's gone.
And you guys know that the art of this is taking that complicated back of the house. How are we going to make that get done and make it super easy for people? And that's what the technology is all about.
Yeah, I knew you could always make your own burger, but I'm just talking about the app now. Oh, man. Tough crowd, Doug.
I'll say the following, little chipping into all technologists out there that are trying to come up with ideas for operators like Doug and MOOYAH Burger. Let me tell you, even us, discounting, we hate discounting, okay?
Yeah.
Loyalty, rewarding our loyal customers, we love that like the day is long. Okay, if you can come up with elegant solutions where we can actually reward our loyal customers, as Doug just said, with free food and free stuff and extra stuff, we love it. Telling us you're going to get us a discount and force it, I'm sorry. Talk to the hand because the face ain't listening. All right, listen, keeping with the topic of the tech stack.
Yeah.
All right, we often talk about how many restaurant brands in the market, and there are quite a few that actually consider themselves tech companies that serve food. And Doug, when you're doing your intro and you're talking about the uniqueness of MOOYAH Burger, everything you said is what we believe in. You didn't talk about speed. You didn't talk about, how tech is going to make your burger taste better. It was all about what makes the food and the experience best. And so we have a bunch of restaurant companies that position themselves as tech companies. We've debated whether Domino's and Sweetgreens are such, but at the end of the day, if it's going to touch hospitality, you got to be a good restaurant first. But not all brands, have the money to take the risk or invest in tech. Some restaurants have to adopt a slow roll. So my question to you, where do you fall in the tech pendulum?
Yeah, so we try to be tech forward, but we're not going to be innovators. And by that, I mean, we want to be fast followers of proven ROI solutions. And to your point, we're all about the food. It's about food quality. It's about the food experience. It's about our customers enjoying the food, whether they're doing it in our restaurant or off premise. We want that food to be awesome. That's why you come to us. And the technology is just an enabler. So people that get that flipped and they think the technology is primary, I think they're missing the point of the hospitality industry.
I love it. I got to tell you, it's important because you know what? You just always have to stay up with the tech. You don't necessarily have to be the innovator. Yeah. Just see what's in the market, see what they're doing, and make sure that you're, following suit and competing, and make sure you're giving best in class.
Tech-enabled, but that's not just about the speed and the tech.
No, it's got to be good food. Hey, listen, for all you listeners out there, you know that for me, Shatsy, I'd have nothing to say if it wasn't for Seinfeld. I mean, Seinfeld, Mel Brooks, if those two people didn't exist, then I really probably would just sit and just ponder.
Everybody email Shatsy, ask him to send you the great picture he and his family have with Mel.
Because please let's not go there. But anyway, Kenny Banya is a Banya moment. I mean, everybody knows Kenny. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold. I mean, it's so the tagline and the claim to fame at MOOYAH is they serve the very best cheeseburger in America. It's the best, Jimmy. I tell you, the best, Jerry. It's the best, Jerry. It's the best. Can you share more about the extra efforts you take to ensure you live up to this product positioning as the best cheeseburger in America? That's no easy task.
Yeah, look, and there's a little puffery in that. And, we believe we're the best. I think there's a lot of people that believe they serve great burgers, and we have a great
Jimmy and
industry.
I believe you're the best.
Yeah, well, thank you. We do too. Yes. But, I already kind of rolled the tape on this a little bit in terms of the
next
quality.
week, we've got the CEO of Shake Shack on it, and that'll be the best.
Shack? What? Shake? What?
I'm just kidding.
No,
He'd never do this show.
I think that, it's a couple of things, right? And we talked about this. The best cheeseburger in the world is personal, right? That's personal to you. And so, if you're not doing the customization part, right, that we're allowing you to make it exactly the way you want to, even if you have a dietary restriction, even if you want to make it different each time, what's best is what you're in the mood for at that time. And so, we got the great quality ingredients and we've got the great hand-crafted process. What makes it special is it's made for you. It's made special the way you wanted it that day, right? And so that's where I camp out. And then, you know what? Our fries and our shakes, they're like Batman and Robin, right? They're the wingman, if you want to pull my military analogy here. And you can't, have a great cheeseburger experience without an amazing shake and some great fries. So, we talk about this as like, it's a mouthful of awesome. There you go. Yeah, you shouldn't have given him the sound.
You just made Shatsy so happy.
Yeah.
Happy.
All right. I was going to say, he didn't
How about I had the Star Spangled Banner, I had Batman queued up. Doug, these guys don't know that you and I spoke yesterday and said he was going to do a Batman reference, so I had it all queued up and ready for action.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Doug. Go along with it, man.
I joked earlier. I said the best $1,000 that Shatsy feels Brandon has ever spent is in the sound machine.
Oh, I love this thing.
By the way, I'm not allowed to touch the sound machine.
No, Jimmy can't go near the sound machine.
I can't even touch it.
Oh, no.
All right, listen.
That's all me.
Listen, we all know that some trends, always, trends come and go. Some trends get hyped. Others sneak under the radar. But if there's one thing that remains true, things tend to move in a predictable cycle, or the ebbs and the flows. So Doug, in your opinion, what's hot on the burner at the moment, And what trends, sticking with the restaurant theme, are heading to the freezer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. That's a lot.
a lot.
That's a lot of tongue-in-cheek there,
It's a lot of
Jimbo.
tongue-in-cheek. That's a lot.
I think,
Which trends do you think still matter and which ones, let's face it, are crap?
yeah, look, back to my emphasis on the food, I think always new kind of culinary explorations and ingredients are always going to be in style, right? I think that's always
It's got to be
great.
good, man. It's got to be good food.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got like a hot bacon jam out there. It's freaking awesome right now, and we do that. We introduce great new burgers. We do it about every couple of months, just to give people something new to try. And I think that trend is always going to stay there. Another one that I think is here to stay. I don't know how it's going to stay, but from a technology standpoint, AI is going to impact our industry, and exactly how. I think is not really well understood, but that's one definitely to watch. We're definitely watching it. Like I said, I'm not going to be with Google and the first out, but we're paying attention to that because we always want to be towards the cutting edge on technology. On the freezer side of things, I think anything ghost anything, right? I think coming out of COVID, everyone was like, we're going to be virtual brands, and no one's ever going to want to go in a restaurant again, and you can have a ghost.
You're going to go into the metaverse, and you're going to be in the McDonald's in the metaverse.
Yeah, and
what did that mean?
And I just think the reports of the death of dining have been greatly exaggerated, and I think people are always going to want to get together and
to go out and eat.
Yeah, yep. and enjoy a great meal across from somebody that is special to you, and I think that's so
even
much about what our
not
business
special.
is. Yeah, or just somebody you just met. What? But yeah, it's
like Thanksgiving, for example. A lot
of
times you're at Thanksgiving and there's nobody special there, but you're forced to sit there for 4 hours.
Yeah, and getting soggy fries delivered to you so you don't have to get out of your armchair while you're gaming is not quality life, right?
No way, man. You get a better experience when you go to the restaurant. I totally agree. But listen, on a rainy day or a snowy day, something like that, it is great to get it delivered. But I agree 100%.
Yeah, I think that was always, Doug, our issue in the virtual, or rather in the techie space, is that they were somewhat suggesting that the food and the quality and the consistency didn't matter. And I think at the end of the day, we kind of felt we knew who was going to do well in the virtual space. It's the folks that had success in the brick and mortar space in running a very high quality, delivering value to their guests. If they could do that well in store, they had the best chance, at least, of doing it in off-prem. But at the end of the day, you think about your menu, it's always going to be better in the store. It's always going to be better on-prem.
I remember speaking to somebody, and they said to me, they're like, as long as it gets there fast, no one cares.
I remember I had to stand in between.
What do you mean it doesn't?
You're going to punch the guy.
Yeah, man, what do you
mean? He was a lot bigger than you.
He goes, it's just as long as it gets there fast, they don't care. I'm like, what? Yes. Crappy food fast?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'd rather take it an hour and be delicious.
I had to stand in. I had to get in between that one. I thought that was going to go the wrong way, going to go ugly. Okay, listen, let's do our little talking back. Shats and I obviously enjoy talking to people. You can see we're passionate about what we do, but we learned along the way that sometimes our guests, I'm laughing about the music you're playing, but I learned along the way that sometimes our guests have a question for us. So Doug, talking back, the microphone's yours. Nothing's off the table. Doug, we're listening.
Well, hi, guys. I want to continue that conversation on automation, right? It's particularly if we're talking about AI or robotics, and that music is ridiculous, Shatsy. It's absolutely ridiculous. But the question is,
it's the question music.
Yeah, but the question really is, and this is something I think it should be something our industry is talking about, is where's the balance between technology and hospitality. Right. So as we get to points now where the technology is going to be able to take the order, a robot's going to be able to deliver your food, at what point are we in the hospitality business, which is people to people, and where's the balance? Where do you guys think it's going to end up?
It's a great question.
No, it is a great question. I just think that we talk about it all the time, and I think sometimes I think about with efficiencies and automation. I think that you're being able to redeploy some folks that maybe they were doing a mundane task that was repeatable, that maybe something a robotic or automation can handle, and I could redeploy that person. Jimmy, we always talk about ambassadors or something like that, where they're touching tables, they're interacting with guests, they're talking to the guests and finding out what they like, what they don't like, what's happening. And I think that's something that can never go away no matter what. So even if you have automation and somebody making food or a robot's doing that, you still need that guest interaction. So if the kiosks are where we do the ordering, then maybe someone is walking around the restaurant interacting with you while you're at the kiosk or while you're sitting down and ordering your food or on your way out, because you need a hello, you need a goodbye, you need a thank you, you need that. And I think that can never go away.
Shats, I think that was a great answer, and
you're going to improve on it, though.
Oh, I'm absolutely going to.
I knew you would.
I'm not just going to improve on it. I'm going to crush it. But
yeah,
no,
crush it.
It was a great answer.
Go.
But Doug, to your point, we actually believe hospitality is just that. It is that connection with humans. But I think so much of our industry is inefficient with how we use human capital, and to a certain extent, I think when done the right way.
Look at the ordering the beverage.
Exactly. I mean, when you think about it in a full-serve restaurant, ordering a beverage is almost a 3-person job. You tell your server, I want a Pepsi.
Holy cow!
Anyway, and then the server puts it in the POS. A ticket comes out behind the bar. The bartender pours the Pepsi. Someone brings it to you. I mean, 3 labor for serving a delicious, wonderful, refreshing Pepsi. That's crazy. But my point is, I think that when tech is leveraged correctly by an operator, it actually is going to improve the guest experience and the job satisfaction, because we're going to take certain tasks. I think about the kiosk and a quick serve cashier. Instead of the speaking to the person putting the order in, and the old expression, you want fries with that, you have the opportunity to know your guests, leverage AI, actually pair things with images and really guest, personalization. And meanwhile, you can have that guest ambassador, that guest enjoyment person running around those kiosks, ensuring greetings and smiles. You have self-pouring beverage solutions. Now you've got servers who are acting as ambassadors. So I think there's certain tasks. I don't want to equate it to toll booths, because that's horrific of me. But think about, are we actually waiting on lines to pay toll booth collectors money? Or are we zipping through using an Easy Pass like we do in New York City? There's certain tasks that are meant to be outsourced to tech and leverage, and then have human capital play the bigger role for MOOYAH and others, which is really make sure that guest is having a wonderful experience in your on-premise. I think that's, to me, where tech is going to shine. And look, we're seeing it. So that's my opinion. My answer was not better.
It is just fantastic, because I think that we've proven that, with knowing guest behavior. Now, when Jimmy comes in to order at MOOYAH Burger, they understand his ordering habits, and they may suggest something that they think that he hasn't tried and he would like, and that's really cool. And that's
what are the chances of every cashier knowing what Jimmy likes on the burger?
It's impossible.
Whereas if I come in and I log in my loyalty number or the face recognition, and they say, "Oh, it's Jimmy. We know he wants triple patties, triple cheese, and stick an extra stick an extra bun in the middle."
Like, Jimmy, is this for your family? No, this is for me. My family is.
we know what Jimmy likes. Jimmy's sweet on the MOOYAH burger.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Jimmy. And Doug, that's the way I think. It's going to be a slow process before you see. You're not going to just have robots running around restaurants or rolling around restaurants or whatever it is. But anyway, it's exciting. We're in an exciting time, and certainly in the early innings. And it's certainly great that the hospitality industry is embracing some of this tech innovation and change, because it will help improve the industry. But listen, we got a very big segment right now. It's one of the most incredible segments ever.
Who's it belong to?
And it belongs to me. And it is called the Food Service Feud. Doug, are you ready for a little food service feud? All right, this is the celebrity edition, okay? And let me tell you, it's no secret that many, many, many famous people all over the world got their start in this incredible industry that we love. So many bartenders, so many servers.
Yeah.
They become actors. They were actors, and they become big celebrities, big stars.
Big stars.
So right now, we asked on LinkedIn, every Tuesday we do a poll, and we asked, I don't know, it was something like 100 trillion people. It was something like that. It was a big number. It was a lot of zeros, Jimmy. I don't know the exact number.
Leave the numbers to me. But
it was a lot of people.
A lot of people.
And it was real people.
It was real people.
These were real people on Earth.
No ChatGPT. Real.
So I want you to get your
people.
Imaginary buzzer, Doug, Jimmy, imaginary buzzer, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer the right answer, okay? I'm going to give you the choices, okay? Which Texas-born celebrity worked at a local Dairy Queen in Katy, Texas?
Love DQ.
Before starting a career in acting? Is it Eva Longoria, Patrick Swayze, Woody Harrelson, or Renee Zellweger?
Ding.
Oh, Jimmy?
I love them all, but I'm going Woody.
Woody Harrelson. That is wrong. Doug, care to guess?
I'm going to go Patrick Swayze.
A good guess also, but no, I'm sorry. It is our beloved Renee Zellweger.
Renee!
Yes, she always has a very charming Texas accent if you listen very carefully. So it is Renee Zellweger, worked at Dairy Queen in Katy, Texas in 1997.
Hey, Shatsy, I'm sorry to do this to you, but Dairy Queen, we love you so. Whether we eat there or it's to go. Your brazier burgers, well, none of that stuff. I like them better than a Knish. You are the keeper of my belly. You are an automatic deli. My queen for you. I'd gladly die for jumping in an Eskimo by Dairy Queen will love you. So there you go. Dairy Queen theme song for Brant Lake Camp, baby. Not theme song, Brant Lake Camp song.
I love it, Jimbo. I love it. Anytime we talk about Dairy Queen, I got to tell you.
DQ.
I got to tell you something. Listen, you know what? I got to tell you. Do you think Renee used our work to get her job, or Dairy Queen used our work?
Imagine what would have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. So all I got to say is the moral of the story here is ourwork.com.
We're still going to get royalties on that.
Yeah. No, Dairy Queen is a big customer of Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen's a big customer of Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen's a big customer of Our Work. I don't know if they are, but they should be.
Even better. DQ, speak to Our Work, make that happen. Okay, listen, at the top of the show, remember, we gave you 2 truths and a lie, okay? I gave you 3 facts about our friend Doug. 2 are true, 1 is false. Just a quick reminder, Shatsy, I'm going to come to you next. Doug once sang the national anthem of the Monday Night Football game. Doug was a contestant on the reality show The Amazing Race, and Doug is a globally ranked Iron All-World athlete in his age group. Shatsy, I think you're undefeated in this game.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, just looking at Doug, the guy's a monster, okay? The guy looks like he could crush it, okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to tell you right now, I think that he was on The Amazing Race, and I think he was an Ironman. I don't think he ever sang the national anthem Monday Night Football game because I just don't think he did. I don't think.
I got to tell you.
They get like singers and stuff for that, like, you know?
I'm going to agree with you, Shats, because that's my impression.
But I mean, he was in the Navy,
that's
so I can see, like,
and B,
was he part of like a Navy band that sang? Like
I'm agreeing with you because it's safe to agree with you because I'm not undefeated in this contest.
Yes, I'm going to say Doug is he's running all over the country. He's swimming. He is an Iron Man.
All right, let's go to the source. Doug.
Hey guys, I love to travel. Like, travel is one of my favorite things to do, but I have never been on The Amazing Race.
Oh, that means he has sung the national anthem of the Monday Night Football game.
Can you care to sing a few bars right now?
No, how about just where did you do that?
I am not, but you guys nailed it. I was a member of the Naval Aviation Choir.
You see, that's what I said. That's where you kind of mess this up a little bit. So it wasn't really you by yourself. Because I was thinking, like, when you
by himself.
No, it didn't say,
No,
okay.
but yeah.
So you sang the national anthem.
Monday Night Football, San Diego, California, right? So military appreciation, and they rolled the Naval Aviation Choir out, and we sang.
Well, I got to tell you, that's cool. But talk to me about Iron Man. I mean, seriously, when did you do this?
Yeah, I actually got in. I've always been an endurance athlete. I've run marathons for many years, and I got into Ironman when we hit the pandemic. It was something to do, right?
Yeah, but can you, for our listeners, can you just tell everybody what makes up an Ironman?
This is big.
Yeah, Ironman is a triathlon. So triathlon's a discipline of exercise where you start swimming, you bike for a while, and then you run.
Well, how much do you swim?
Yeah, so a full Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim, typically in open water, and then it's followed up by 112 mile bike ride, and then a marathon.
112 miles, Jimmy.
And then after you get off a bike, after 112 miles, by the way, go run a marathon.
Yeah,
go run a marathon.
Oh, look, it's good for you. Get out there. You guys should try it.
And then just for all our listeners that don't know, you ate MOOYAH burgers before this, right? And that's what gave you the energy to do it.
Yeah, look, if you're going to go out and you're going to spend 8 hours exercising, you need a couple patties, a few slices of cheese. Like, you need to load it up, right? And there's protein. That's awesome.
Did you keep that while you were swimming? Did you have the MOOYAH burgers in a bag and you could take it out when you got out?
What would be awesome is in transition, right? If I had I'm stuffing fries and a shake, that would be awesome. I have not tried that yet, guys. I'll give that a shot just for you.
I just want to share. It's been a little while, but our producer and our friend and partner Julie and I both were banging out New York City Olympic distance triathlons, to be clear.
Yeah,
That's a mile
yeah,
swim,
yeah.
that's a 25 bike, and that's a 10K run.
Legit.
So it's a
legit,
fraction.
yeah.
It's a little years ago, and I have to tell you, I don't think I've ever enjoyed a pitcher of beer and a burger or fries more than after complete. Like, it was magic to have that meal after. You just said 8 hours. Mine was about 3 hours of working out, and then I got that. And I got to tell you, it's one of the greatest things. I look forward to getting back to that. I got a little work to do.
Yeah, I'm exhausted listening to that. All right, listen, Doug's got to go back and start opening up more stores and making sure that everything's great. So before we go,
is there anything
let's
left?
there's the branded quickfire. According to Nielsen reports, it is the highest rated part of any podcast in the entire world. The branded quickfire with over 10 trillion listeners that just tune in just for this. Doug,
the numbers to me, Chef.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doug, are you ready? 5 lightning round questions.
I'm
Don't
ready.
think too hard.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Okay.
Favorite burger topping?
Chancel-laced avocado.
Where are you getting dinner from tonight?
I'm cooking. My daughter's coming up for dinner.
Nice.
I love to cook, so yeah, we're cooking tonight.
Nice. Where is your favorite food city in the world?
It's got to be Paris. Hands down, Paris.
Agreed. Favorite place to travel?
You know, my wife and I love Italy. Love, Tuscany, that area.
I
Northern
gotta
area,
tell you,
about
man,
the
you're
Alps.
killing it. Paris, Italy,
Yeah.
you're killing it right now. You're killing
We
it.
love Italy. Yeah.
All right, this is where things get a little ugly sometimes. If you were to challenge Jimmy Rye to an old school game of mousetrap, what are your better odds of beating? Mousetrap, the old game mousetrap.
I'm going to stay silent. I feel like giving Doug a little hint, but I'm going to stay silent. Because I might say to Doug, one of us has a 6-year-old, and one of us has mousetrap currently on their
dining room table?
on the coffee table.
And one of us has 3 kids in college?
Yeah. So I just want to be clear. Doug, you choose.
Yeah,
Please,
I don't
give
know,
me a
guys.
hint.
You know, it's been a long time since I played Mousetrap. I'm trying to think of
6
Mousetrap
hours. It's been
strategy
2 hours
here.
from
Jimmy does have a 6-year-old.
Yes.
I tell you what, I'm going to take that I can beat Chatsy only because I think he's going to get distracted about halfway through the game and not pay attention.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a trend there, Jimmy.
Yeah, by the way, have you been talking to Shatsy's wife? Literally, he gets distracted.
There's a real trend there with my ADD, huh? I got to tell you, I don't know what I must give away, but yes, I mean, thank you. Most people do say they'll beat me.
Yes.
In everything.
Not in everything, Shatsy. You're wiry. You're wiry.
Yeah.
All
okay.
right. Listen, Doug, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, sharing your great insights, for all the work you're doing in this industry. We do love, and again, love the incentive program that you're offering to the new franchisees. I really do think that's awesome. For our listeners, if you want to get in touch with Doug directly, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandedstrategic.com. We'd be happy to make the introduction. To our listeners, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. We know there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and the fact that our subscriber base just continues to soar. We appreciate you and everything it's doing for us here at Branded, and a special shout out to Our Work for sponsoring this episode of the Hospital Hangout. And if you want to learn more about Our Work, please visit their website at ourwork.com. Chats, I got to tell you, this was a lot of fun. I knew it would be.
And I got to tell you, thank you, Doug. And Doug, for all our listeners, how do we order a MOOYAH burger if I want some and some shakes? What do I got to go to?
Yeah.
Is that MOOYAH.com, MOOYAHburger.com?
No, you download the app from the App Store. That's what you do, Shatsy.
Boom.
You go to the Apple Store or the Android Store and you get MOOYAH app and start ordering your burgers and shakes and go crazy, man. And make those, like, go create a really wacky burger so you can, like, put it on TikTok and everyone goes nuts. Man, look at the size of this dude, man.
I like it.
Okay,
Doug,
hey,
thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the hack, guys. We're launching a new campfire burger in 2 weeks. All right, it's got like an amazing barbecue sauce, got chips on top of it. Get it with a s'more shake. That's the play.
Oh, that sounds like something. Yeah, I got to tell you, you're bringing up, Jimmy went to sleepaway camp and Dairy Queen was his jam. I went to sleepaway camp, Friendly's was my jam.
And now, MOOYAH Burger's our jam.
Yeah,
there you go.
Burger.
We got the campfire burger.
The Berkshires. I don't know if they're going to the Berkshires.
All right. Doug, thank you so much. This is Jimmy Frisching, your finance guy, with appreciation to Doug. And passing it back to my boy Shatsy to close us out.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Hospitality Hangout. This is Shatsy, a.k.a. Restaurant Guy. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.